Shri Radhe Govinda Shama Gopala Shri Madhusudana. Radhe Govinda Shama Gopala Shri Madhusudana. Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Bolo Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhika Jivana Krishna Janardana. Radhika Jivana Krishna Janardana. Radhe Govinda Shama Gopala Shri Madhusudana. Radhe Govinda Shama Gopala Shri Madhusudana. Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Devaki Nandana Shri Madhusudana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Shrimati Radharani ki jai. This next bhajan is called Krishna Jinika. It's a traditional Hindi bhajan. And it says, he whose name is Krishna and whose abode is Gokula, unto such a supreme personality of Godhead I offer my most humble obeisances again and again. His mother is Yasoda and father is Nandaji. Unto such a cowherd boy named Gopala I offer my most humble obeisances again and again. He is the beloved of Radha, whose illusory energy is very amazing. Unto he whose splendorous complexion is the color of fresh rain cloud, I offer my most humble obeisances again and again. Krishna sneaks around to steal yogurt and butter. Then he hides to eat it. He tends the cows in the company of his cowherd boyfriends. Unto him, who is the reservoir of playful pastimes, I offer my most humble obeisances again and again. Krishna prevented the dishonoring of the daughter of Drupada. He delivered the elephant Gajendra from the grasp of the alligator. Unto him, who is the abode of all compassion, I offer my most humble obeisances again and again. He caused the great war between the Kurus and the Pandavas, and he spoke the divine instructions to Arjuna on the battlefield. Unto Krishna, who is the Lord of all helpless fallen souls, I offer my most humble obeisances again and again. Krishna Jinika Nama Hai, Gokula Jinika Dama Hai. ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है. Krishna Jinika Nama Hai, Gokula Jinika Nama Hai. ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। यशोदा जी की माया है, नंद जी पाया है। यशोदा जी की माया है, नंद जी पाया है। ऐसे श्री गोपाल को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। ऐसे श्री गोपाल को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। राधा जी की जया है, अद्भुत जी की माया है। राधा जी की जया है, अद्भुत जी की माया है। ऐसे श्री घनश्याम को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। ऐसे श्री घनश्याम को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। लुटा लुटा दादी माँ कनकायो, कोवाला वाला संग धेनु चरायो। लुटा लुटा दादी माँ कनकायो, कोवाला वाला संग धेनु चरायो। ऐसे दाम को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। ऐसे लीला दाम को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। द्रौपदी सीता को लाजा बचायो, कहाँ से गज को फंदा छुड़ायो। द्रौपदी सीता को लाजा बचायो, कहाँ से गज को फंदा छुड़ायो। ऐसे दाम को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। ऐसे दाम को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जी का नाम है, गोकुल जी का नाम है। ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। पांडवा को युद्ध मचायो, अर्जुन को उपदेश सुनायो। पांडवा को Krishna Jinika Nama Hai, Gokula Jinika Nama Hai, ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। Vajure Govinda Gopala Hare Vajure Govinda Gopala Hare Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Bolo Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Bolo Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Gopala, ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। कृष्णा जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका नाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। कृष्णा जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका नाम है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार बार प्रणाम है। Bajure Bhaja Govinda Gopala Hare Bajure Bhaja Govinda Gopala Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Bolo Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Bolo Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Bolo Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jai Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai. Haribol. Can you get rid of that buzz? Shri Govardhana Maharaj, Maharaj, Tere Mate Kuta Viraj Rama, Tere Govardhana Maharaj, Maharaj, Tere Mate Kuta Viraj Rama, Topi Pana Chale, Topi Pula Chale, Radhe Shyam, Vijaya Gopala, Radhe Shyam, Bolo Vijaya Gopala, Radhe Shyam. Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Nanda Kumara, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Nanda Kumara, Radhe Shyam. Navanita Chora, Radhe Shyam. Navanita Chora, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Hari Bol, 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 Hari This bhajan is named Jaya Madhava Madana Murari. It's again a traditional Hindi song. It says, glories to the husband of the goddess of fortune, who is the transcendental Cupid and the enemy of the demon Mura. Glories to the divine couple Radha Shama, also known as Shama Shama. Glories to Lord Keshava, who has fine hair, who removes the miseries of the age of Kali. Radhe Sham Sham Sham, O Krishna, You wear beautiful earrings, and you have lovely widened eyes. Around your neck hangs the splendorous Vaijayanti flower garland. Your complexion is most excellent. Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Sometimes you secretly plunder yogurt and eat it, and sometimes you design a rasa dance performance with the young gopis in the forest of Madhuvana. Their dances Vipina Vihari, you who love to sport in the forest. Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. You herd the cows in the company of the cowherd boys. You, the monarch of the Yadu dynasty, thus wander from forest to forest, carrying a blanket draped over your shoulder. Because you, O Murari, repeatedly steal fresh butter from the homes of the women of Raja and secretly eat it, they have named you Makana Chor, the butter thief. One day you curbed the pride of Indra by lifting the great mountain Govardhana upon the tip of your fingernail, thus winning for yourself the name Giridhari. You did not accept the sumptuous feast of the wicked Duryodhana, but took the coarse food offered by your devotee Vidura. Therefore you are worshipped by love and not by mere rituals. Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. To bestow mercy upon Draupadi, you, the lord of the forest, supplied unlimited cloth to protect her from shame, while the assembly of men and women looked on. You deliver each of your devotees in unique ways. Alas, we who are bereft of devotion are standing here outside your door. Please favorably receive the news of our presence. You were the driver of Arjuna's chariot, and on the battlefield you gave Arjuna the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita. During the fight, you exhibited your form as the wielder of the discus Sudarshana. Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. Jai Madhava Madana Murari, Jai Madana Madana Murari, Jai Keshava Kali Malahari, Jai Keshava Kali Malahari, Jai Madhava Madana Murari, Jai Sundara Kundala Naina Vishara, Sundara Naina Vishara, Para Kundala Naina Vishara, Dale Sohe Vajanti Mala. Vajanti Mala, Kaleso Yachabiki Balihari, Yachabiki Balihari, Adava Madana Murari. Madhava Madana Murari, Kabahun Luta Luta Tadikayo, Kabahu Madhuvana Rasana Chayo, Nachatavi Vira Vihari, Madhava Madana Murari, Madhava Madana Murari, Jai Keshava Kali Malahari, Jai Bala Bala Sangha Denu Charayi. Bala Bala Sangha Denu Charayi. Vana Vana Pramata Pire Yadurai. Kande Kamala Kari. Kande Jai Madhava Madhena Murari. Jai Madhava Madhena Murari. Jai Keshava Kalimala Hari. Chura Chura Navanita Jokayo. Vajavanyana Pai Namadarayo. Makana Chamurari. Madhava Madhena Murari. Jai Keshava Kalimala Hari. Madhava Madhena Murari. Tambourine. Ekadina Mana Indra Komaryo. Ekadina Indra Komaryo. Ekadina Mana Indra Komaryo. Naga Upada Govardhana Dayo. Namapadayo Giridhari. Jai Madhava Madhena Murari. Jai Keshava Kalimala Hari. Jai Madhava Madhena Murari. Duryodhana Kokakayo. Nakayo Duryodhana Kokanakayo. Rugo Saga Vidura Karakayo. I say Prima Pujari. I say Prima Pujari. Jai Madhava Madhena Murari. Jai Keshava Kalimala Hari. Jai Madhava Madhena Murari. Karuna Karajo Adi Pukari. Pada Dipata Vari. Nirakara He Nara Narirani Nirakara He Nara Nari Adava Madana Nari Jai Madava Madana Nari Jai Shavakari Malahari Jai Madava Madana Nari Jai Bhakta Bhakta Sabha Tumanitare Bhakta Bhakta Sabha Tumanitare Vina Bhakti Hama Tade Dware Vina Bhakti Hama Tade Dware Lijo Kabala Arjuna ke rata hankana hare Arjuna ke rata hankana hare Gita ke upadesha tumare Gita ke upadesha tumare Chakrasudha Sanadani Chakrasudha Sanadani Chakrasudha Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Madhava Madhena Murari, Jai Bolo Keshava Kali Malahari, Jai Keshava Kali Malahari, Jai Madhava Madhena Murari, Jai Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Premanandi Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswam Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nastapresu Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Avati Naistiki Tadarajastomo Bhavo Kamalobhadayaschaye Chita Itarana Vidam Sitvam Sakya Siddhati. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantha Raj Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavane Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi Hari Bol. So tonight we're going to hear about the origin of the false ego. Probably there's some echo all the time on this mic. Hare Krishna. Maybe it's this. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So our problem, or all the problems that we have in this life, are due to the development of the false ego. The real ego is easy to understand. Still echo. Hare Krishna. The real ego is easy to understand. It's caused by forgetfulness of Krishna and thinking that we are a product of material nature. Therefore, we don't understand the difference between the soul and the body. And when we develop this false ego, many times we become very stubborn and unfacilitating. We don't want to compromise. And we get into arguments, and we have a very sensitive nature. A slight little insult causes a great outburst. And we're impatient. And we cannot, we're not really happy when other people are happy, but we become happy when other people become sad. This is all due to the false ego. So in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 42nd verse, it says, Indriyani para ahur, indriyabhya para mana, manasastu para buddhir, yo buddhe parasastu sa. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Matter is higher than the senses. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. So this creates what's called a hierarchy of bodily functions. So the working senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the skin, is superior to dull matter. And what's not mentioned in this verse, but it's mentioned in the purport from the Katha Upanishad, which says that the objects of sense gratification are superior to the senses. So the next rung of the hierarchy is objects of sense gratification are superior to the senses. And then the mind is superior to the objects of the senses, and the intelligence is superior to the mind, the intelligence that has determination, and the soul is superior to the intelligence, and the super soul, or Krishna, is superior to the individual soul, you and me. So here we have a hierarchy of different functions of the body. Bodily action means functions of the senses. The senses that we have, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin, and the sixth sense, those first 5 I just named, the sixth sense is the mind. These senses are for satisfying our material desires when we're in illusion, and when we come to self-realization, they're for satisfying the senses of Krishna. In other words, these highly developed instruments, the senses, are for realizing our relationship with Krishna. They're not for realizing our relationship with temporary things like Tesla cars, vacations to Cancun, going to Las Vegas, going to Disneyland, buying bigger and bigger houses, having a big 401k. That's not the purpose of the senses that we have. The purpose of the senses is to realize our eternal relationship with Krishna and free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. The real problems in life are birth, death, old age, and disease. They're not Trump, Putin, Kim Jong-un, and this one. Those are not the real problems of life. The real problems of life are the fact that we're forced to be born, we're forced to get old, we're forced to get sick, and we're forced to die. Bhagavad Gita is a book that teaches us how to free ourselves from these 4 fundamental problems of life. And the beginning of it is to understand how our eternal soul has become entrapped in a temporary body. This is the fundamental duality of life. The body is temporary, the soul is eternal. That's why the older you get, the more desires you have. Why? Because those desires are coming from the soul. They're not coming from the body. Body is dead meat. The soul is conscious. Without the consciousness in the body doesn't function. So at death, you see something leave the body. What is it? It's the consciousness, which is the indication of the soul. So while we have life, while we have the use of these highly developed instruments, It should only be used for self-realization. So bodily action means the functions of the senses, and stopping the senses means stopping all bodily actions. So if you put blindfold over your eyes, you put earplugs over your ears, you put a pin or something in your tongue, you cover your skin with a tarp, and you put plugs into your nose, you can't function. We can only function when these senses are active and free to help us achieve our goal in life. Now, the goal in life might be more sense gratification. Okay, you can use the senses like that, but they become like the flint of a lighter. A lighter has a rough flint. It's like a stone. And when you press down on that metal wheel, it makes sparks from the flint, and those sparks light the lighter fluid in the lighter, okay? But by doing it too much, you wear out the flint, and then it doesn't make any sparks anymore, and you can't get the lighter to light. The same way, if we misuse our senses too long for sense gratification, then they don't work anymore. The eyes don't see so well, so you need glasses. The ears don't hear so well, you need an ear amplifier, right? Ear hearing aid. The tongue doesn't taste so good, so you have to take antacids, you have to take this medicine, that medicine for bad digestion. And the skin doesn't work so good anymore. It doesn't have sensitivity anymore. So you have to take injections, you have to take Botox and other things to get the skin to plump up again. So you see, misusing the senses wears them out. Just like always lighting the lighter eventually wears out the flint. It doesn't work anymore. Even though you have lighter fluid, it won't light. So this sense gratification, which is not the goal of the senses, wears out the senses, and you become dull. People develop senility, or they can't hear as well. You say something, they say, huh, what did you say? There was once a man whose wife had a hearing problem. So one day he said to her, honey, are you going to cook dinner tonight? And she said, huh? What did you say? And he said aloud, are you going to cook dinner tonight? He said, I didn't hear a word you said. Why don't you? There must be something wrong with you. You can't hear anything. She's accusing her husband, you know. He keeps talking, she can't hear him, and she said, you know, there's something wrong with you. You can't hear me yelling at you. Actually, that's good. So, we see that by misuse of the senses, they don't function so good. And the sixth sense is the mind. By misusing the other senses, the mind becomes dull also. And then you end up with a baseball hat on backwards, watching the Super Bowl with a Budweiser beer and a hot dog. That means your mind is not working well anymore. You see, that's the proof. So, but since the mind is active, then even though the body may be silent and at rest, the mind will act as it does during dreaming. But above the mind is the determination of the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul proper. If, therefore, the soul is directly engaged with the Supreme Lord, naturally all other subordinates, namely the intelligence, mind, senses, will be automatically engaged in the service of the Lord. In the Katha Upanishad, there's a similar passage in which it is said that the objects of sense gratification are superior to the senses, and mind is superior to the sense objects. If, therefore, the mind is directly engaged in the service of the Lord constantly, then there's no chance that the senses will become engaged in other ways. Now, this fact that the objects of sense gratification are superior to the senses is a very important thing. This is the way we become entangled by the false ego in this world. And I'm going to give you a quick example of it. Let's say a man sees an extremely beautiful woman walking down the street, and he can't take his eyes off her. But while he's looking at her, two nurses grab her and take her into the hospital and strap her down on the surgical operating table. And they invite the man to come. So now he watches them as they take a knife and make a cut from her nose down like this, all the way down below her belly button, and they open the skin up. And they start taking out the organs. At what point will he lose his attraction to that woman? What point? When they take out the intestines? When they take out the liver? When they take out the gallbladder? When they take out the heart? You see? So, the objects of sense gratification are superior to the senses. Therefore, in Sankhya Yoga is all about analyzing the 24 elements of nature. And as you take something like a Tesla, and you begin to analyze the Tesla very analytically, and you see, well, there's the right fender and the left fender, so you take them off. Then there are the four wheels, you take them off. At a certain point, when you take the whole thing apart, the attraction to the Tesla goes away. You say, this is a piece of junk, I don't want this. You see? So, this ability to analyze things in a very systematic way can free a person from the superior objects of sense gratification. But when you don't have the ability to do that, then you become attracted by the objects of the senses. Just like you become attracted by iPhone 8. Right? You'll wait some people wait in line 3 days to get the first iPhone 8. By the way, our friend here works for Samsung. So the Samsung, what's the latest Samsung, Prabhu? S9, okay. Yes, they'll wait in line for the S9, Samsung, right? And, or some man, like let's say once there were 3 men that were in love with the same woman. And she died. So this was a tragedy for all 3. So one of them made a vow, I'm going to travel the world and find the secret to death, to bring her back to life. Another one said, what are you going to find out traveling the world? You just get diarrhea. He said, better, I'm going to become a doctor and I'll solve the problem of death. And the third man said, I can't stand being away from her. I will stay next to her grave and take care of her, even though she's dead. So, 10 years go by. The first guy doesn't solve the problem of death, but he learns through mystical powers how to fly through the air. The second guy, the doctor, he actually figures out how to bring a dead body back from the death. And the third guy never left the grave. So, the first guy flies to where the second guy is, picks him up, and they fly back to the graveyard. And now all 3 of the men are there again. And the first guy, then they all dig up her body, and then the doctor does whatever he does, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, this poison, that poison. She comes back alive. Right? But now the old problem is there. Which one is she going to marry? So she looks at the first guy and said, look, you're a wonderful person. You're always thinking of me, and you developed this mystical power, flying through the air. Thank you very much. Then she looks at the doctor and said, you brought me back from the death. I have a debt to pay to you. Thank you very much. But she said, but I'm going to marry the third guy. And the first 2 looked, but he didn't do anything. No, he did the most. even though I was dead, he stayed with me. That means he really loved me. You see? So, that can only happen on a spiritual level. When you love the soul of the person, you know they're not really dead. Only the body is dead. The soul of the person is still alive. In fact, today I did a Shrud ceremony. The Shrud ceremony, why do we do that? Because we know the person is not dead. And it's a way of communicating with your loved ones who have passed, who have died. In the Shrud ceremony, the loved one receives all the punya of the yajaman, the person performing the ceremony. So, you give the benefit of all your pious activities to the person that you love, to help them. But it only makes sense if the soul is eternal. If you're just a body and the person is dead, it's just a bunch of chemicals. Who cares? But no, that is the body, but what was the real person in the body is the soul. And that it can never be killed because it was never born. It exists before being in this body, exists in the body, and exists after the body dies. So, it says here, if therefore the mind is directly engaged in the service of the Lord constantly, then there's no chance that the senses will become engaged in other ways. The mental attitude has already been explained. Param dristva nivartate. In other words, if you control yourself from the sinful activities, eating meat, gambling, illicit activities outside of marriage, and intoxication, still the taste for those things might continue, although you're controlling yourself. Still, there's an attraction to those things. But when you actually experience a higher taste, something better than those four things, then you lose your attraction to them. And that better thing is Krishna consciousness. Chanting, dancing, feasting, hearing Bhagavad Gita, hearing Vedic wisdom, using that wisdom every day in your life. Suddenly you get a higher taste, and you're able to control your anger, your lust, your greed, your envy, your illusion, your madness or craziness. You're able to control these things. Suddenly you feel great peace in your heart. Now you have something better. If I only have $10 in my pocket and I lose $5, that's a tragedy. If I have $1 million in the bank and I lose $100, who cares? You see. So if we do not have a bank account full of love of God, full of activities of devotion that we have performed for the Lord, then we're poor. And if some tragedy happens or something goes wrong, we get upset and we get mentally disturbed by it. So, this param dristva nivartate is the higher taste we get from the practice of Krishna consciousness. And you will get that taste. Just like in the Kirtan we'll have in a few minutes. People will be dancing, they'll be happy, the children will be here also with their parents. Everyone will be very happy. That's a taste. Anandam buddhivardhanam, of the unlimited ocean of transcendental bliss by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So in the Katha Upanishad, the soul has been described as Mahan, great. Therefore the soul is above all, namely the sense objects, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. Therefore, directly understanding the constitutional position of the soul is the solution to the whole problem of life. Every day we're studying in the temple what is this soul and how it's different than the body and what is its potential. Potential is eternal life. No more birth, death, old age, disease. Only happiness. But isn't that what everybody wants? Only happiness, no suffering, no dukkha, only sukha. And not just sukha, sukha sagar. Ocean of unlimited happiness and bliss. That's what we want. We don't want to be controlled by time. We don't want to be controlled by the laws of material nature or karma. We don't want to be controlled by the gunas, goodness, passion, and ignorance. We don't want to be controlled by anger, lust, and all those things. We want to be controlled by Krishna, who is also called Mukunda, the giver of liberation. Let him control us. Let him control us in eternal life and liberation. So the solution of the whole problem of life is understanding the constitutional position of the soul. With intelligence, one has to seek out the constitutional position of the soul and then engage the mind always in Krishna consciousness. That solves the whole problem of life. A neophyte spiritualist is generally advised to keep aloof from the objects of the senses. That is, the Samsung 9, the Tesla, the Mercedes, the house with 3-car garage, right? The vacation to Las Vegas, all expenses paid by my company. Right? One is no longer interested in those things. Just like one time, a friend of mine went to Vrindavan, and he took the train. This is 20, 30 years ago. And when he got off in Mathura, at that time, to get from Mathura to Vrindavan, you get a Tunga, a horse-driven carriage. So there were a whole bunch of Tunga drivers outside the railroad stop. And he went out, and the first one he spoke to, he said, "Sir, can you take me to Vrindavan?" He said, "What time is it?" He said, "It's 6 o'clock." He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't." He said, "Why not?" He said, "I have just enough time to go home, bathe, put on my dhoti and clean clothes, and run to the temple for arti, sayana arti." He said, "How much do you make a year?" The man said, "I don't make much, maybe 6,000 rupees maximum." He said, "Okay, I'll give you 60,000 rupees, take me to Vrindavan." He said, "Sir, even if you give me 60 million rupees, I will not take you to Vrindavan, because I have made a vow that I go to the arti every night." That's called bhakti. He made a vow to Krishna that I will come and see you in the sayana arti every night. Come hell or high water, as they say in America. Say. And he was not bribable. So there's a man who has made a vow to serve Krishna. And he's a humble person. He only makes 6,000 rupees. Can you live on 6,000 rupees a year? Can you live on 6,000? Any of you live on 6,000 rupees a year? But this man can. And he's happy. Because he's Krishna conscious. So, how to strengthen the mind by use of intelligence. If by intelligence one engages one's mind in Krishna consciousness by complete surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then automatically the mind becomes stronger. And even though the senses are very strong, like serpents, they will no more be effective than serpents with broken fangs. So one time I went to Marrakesh, which is a small town in Morocco, in northern Africa. And there, every day in this small town, there's a mela. Every day. It could be weekday, it could be weekends. What's the mela? They have musicians playing and people dancing. They have plenty of food. And they have snake charmers. They have a man, I saw this with my own eyes. He breaks a glass in his hand, and the blood starts coming out of it, and he starts eating the glass. And he comes up to you and says, "Would you like a taste?" What? I'm telling the truth now. I actually saw this with my own eyes. And so the snake charmer, he has a cobra. And he's playing, da, 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 and the cobra is coming up like this, like that. And then he gets the cobra in his hand, he starts dancing with it, because there's music playing. There's musicians playing. And he dances around, and comes up to people and goes, "Ha!" like that. And they go, "Ah!" So, do you think that cobra can kill you? No. Why? Because these people, they're very, very clever. They catch the cobra, they hold them by the back of the head and the neck. So, and they force him to open his mouth. Then they push the mouth on a stone, and the cobra is trying to bite, so his fangs have come out, and they break the fangs. And they force out the poison. Now the cobra can't hurt anyone. Even if he bites, he cannot inject the poison into you. So therefore the man's not afraid. And he plays his flute, and the cobra is going like this, and he goes like this to people. He knows that nothing's going to happen, you see. So in the same way, we have to control the senses, because superior to our senses are the objects of the senses. And there's millions of objects of the senses that are pretty, that are attractive. Like, why do people go to Las Vegas? Because there's lights, there's beautiful, you can see the Taj Mahal. You don't have to go to Agra. You go to Las Vegas, you'll see the Taj Mahal. But you won't see Shah Jahan's wife. You'll see you'll see the slot machines, thousands of them, right? But people go because they feel this is life. There's music, there's liquor, there's meat, there's illicit activities, there's gambling. This is the real life. That's not life, that's death. But there's light there that looks like life. And people look like they're happy walking in, but you should see them walking out after you lost $1,000. One man, this happens a lot, one man, he lost $2,000. That was his monthly pay. And his wife and kids were waiting at home. So he comes home to buy some groceries. So he got really mad, and he insisted that the casino give him back his money. He insisted. And he even threatened them, if you don't give me back, I'll burn the place down. You know what happened to him? He was arrested and put in jail. Did they give his money back? Not one penny. See? So you have to be crazy to go into places like that. You have to actually be mentally sick to walk into a casino. Now, people's minds are agitated. Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 60th verse says, Yatato yapikonteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramatini haranti prasabam mana. It says, the senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. In other words, we have 5 highly evolved senses. Any one of them that becomes attracted to something can completely disrupt our mind and make us do crazy things. So, unless we're able to control the senses, our mind will be always agitated. Have you ever met a person that you say something, they get angry? You know anyone like that? Huh? They get angry. Why do they get angry so quickly? Because their mind is agitated. They have too many material desires that they cannot satisfy, and therefore any little thing gets them upset, and they give an inordinate response because they're agitated. Okay. So here, Krishna consciousness is such a transcendently nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful. It is as if a hungry man has satisfied his hunger by a sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. So, when you eat a full meal, let's say at the end of the meal someone says, Prabhuji, please take 1 laddu. So, okay. Oh, you didn't try the rasgulla. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, you forgot the gulab jamun. Okay, I'll take one. And wait a minute, there's the misti dahi. He said, Prabhu, that's enough, I can't eat. He said, no, you have to have the misti dahi. No, I can't eat anymore, you know. So you see, he's satisfied. So when you become satisfied with Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, coming to the temple, hearing my bad jokes, and so forth, then someone says, let's go to Las Vegas. He said, oh, no, I don't want to go. Okay, let's go to Disneyland. I don't want to go. What do you want to do? I want to go to the temple. Are you crazy? What are you going to do at the temple? You know, Las Vegas, we can have fun. Disneyland will have fun. There's no fun in Disneyland. You just wait in line, and you pay hundreds of dollars to wait in line. That's all it is, you know. And you see Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and Dumbo. Who wants to see Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Dumbo? You become dumbbell by seeing Dumbo. So, better you go to the temple, you see Radha Krishna. You see Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman. Do they compare to Dumbo and Donald Duck? You see, there's a major difference. That's why we spend so much time dressing the deities, feeding them, making fresh garlands for them. The more Krishna is beautiful, the more you'll be happy. Believe me. So, what gets us in trouble is called kama, lust. Lust is developed by contemplating the objects of the senses. And the objects of the senses are superior to the senses. And when we become too engrossed and too lusty, then it corrupts the mind, and the mind corrupts the intelligence, and then the soul gets influenced by it, and we develop this false ego. The false ego says, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. In other words, I am Bezos, the supreme controller. See? So, everybody, one time I was talking to a gentleman, I said, what's your goal in life? He said, I'm going to be richer than Bill Gates. He's still trying. You see. So this is crazy. If someone says to a decent person, what is your goal in life? He said, my goal in life is to behave like Bharat, the brother of Ram. He was never envious of his brother. He always served him faithfully. He had control of his senses and his mind. He was a genuinely good person. That's my goal in life. So what's wrong with that? Do you want your kid to be like Bharat, or you want him to be like Aurangzeb? Aurangzeb put his mother and father in jail, killed some of his brothers, and usurped their kingdom. And Bharat, he told Ram, I'll give me your chappals, I'll put them on the throne, and every day I'll come and serve you. Serve your chappals until you come back. Who do you want to be your brother? Aurangzeb or Bharat? You see? Who do you want your son or daughter to be like? Aurangzeb or Bharat? See? So, we have to understand that this Sanatan Dharma culture is the real culture. Culture is how you do things. So how Bharat acted, how Sita Devi acted, always faithful to her husband. How Ram acted, always faithful to his wife. This is what our children should hear about. Not Dumbo, not Mickey Mouse, not Donald Duck, not Slender Man, not the Blue Whale, and all these computer game demons that corrupt the minds of your children. So then, Krishna says, Arjuna asked Krishna, what is it that forces people to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if by force? So Krishna says, Kama esa, Krodha esa, Raga guna samudbhavam, Mahasana mahapapma, Vidi enam ihavairinam. He says, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into anger, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. So, Aurangzeb was very lusty. Ravana was very lusty. Hiranyakashipu was very lusty. And all the big tyrants of the world have always been lusty people. You have Muhammad Ghazni. You know how much damage he did to India? This man, this one man, he destroyed the temple in Gujarat, Somnath. He destroyed the golden Shiva Linga that was in that temple and stole it, took it away. He killed so many Brahmins. He killed so many people, forced so many people to take up Islam. He was just a lusty, low-class person. All the big demons in society have caused tremendous damage because of their lust. Lust means obsessive desires to exploit other people for their own happiness. They don't care about the other people. So this is the worst enemy of mankind. So anyone can be lusty nowadays. You see now the Me Too hashtag on the internet. It's hundreds and thousands of women in this country have been abused by powerful men. And they're coming forward and ratting them out. So unless we can control this lust, we're living with an insurmountable enemy in our mind. And it corrupts the way we see things. It corrupts the way we think. It corrupts the way we desire. So, the only solution to this is devotional service, bhakti yoga, serving the Lord with love and devotion. And devotional service, you never ask Krishna for anything. You always want to give to Krishna. So, we've spoken about this before, but I'll repeat it again. We don't know how to pray to God. If you come to God and you say, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, that's not a prayer. That is doing business with God. A prayer to God is glorifying God, glorifying the Lord by His transcendental qualities. So when you hear Narada Muni, when you hear Vyasadeva, when you hear Lord Brahma, when you hear Prahlad Maharaj, when you hear Dhruva Maharaj, you hear genuine devotees glorifying the Lord. They don't say, give me this. I want my son to pass the SAT. I have a backache. Get rid of the backache. You want to get rid of your backache, go to the chiropractor. Don't go to Krishna. He doesn't want to hear about your backache. He wants to hear about what service you have done. Just like your team leader in Microsoft or Google, he doesn't care about your backache. He wants to know what service you've done, what deliverables you've given to him. Well, Krishna is the same. He's the supreme team leader. And every 6 months, he's going to give you an evaluation. So we should wake up and understand that we forge or develop a relationship with Krishna through seva, not through promises, not through laziness, but actually making efforts to serve the Lord. Then you can control the mind and the senses. You lose your taste for Donald Duck, and you develop a taste for Radha Krishna, for Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, for Jagannath. When you develop that taste, then you become liberated from the cycle of birth and death. What other great gift can you receive than that? I actually saw a man dying. It was a relative. It was an uncle. And he was suffering, and the doctor came. They called the doctor. And the doctor looked at him, he took his pulse, and he used the stethoscope, and then he put everything away, and he looked at my mother and father, he just shook his head. And my uncle saw it. And he grabbed his hand with the last strength he had. He said, "Doctor, doctor, give me another 4 years." And doctor went like this, and he walked out. This man was 70 years old. What does he need 4 years for? And my father asked him, he said, "Why do you want 4 more years?" He said, "I didn't write my biography yet." No one is going to read his biography. There's not one thing of interest in his life. You know, he's not like Comey or these other people, you know. No one's interested in him, right? And he had 70 years to write his biography. 70 years, he wasted his life. Now he's dying. He wants another 4 years. And do you think he would finish his biography in those 4 years? No. So, time is the most precious thing we have. Don't waste it. Use every second to learn who you are in relationship to Krishna. Don't learn who you are in relationship to Donald Duck. That will not give you any knowledge at all. You have to learn who you are in relationship to Bhagavan Krishna. So when we separate ourselves from Krishna, we forget that I am a soul, and you think I'm just a body. You learn in school that everything started by the Big Bang. If I make a big bang in your kitchen, what's going to happen? Huh? Is it going to create the world, or is it going to destroy your house? So these are all stupid concepts that are being fed to our children. And they have to believe it because the teacher said so. So you should be the #1 teacher of your kids, not the idiots in the public schools or the private schools. You should be the teacher, and you should bring your children regularly to the temple, and together, a family that prays together stays together. Come and pray, bow down to Krishna and pray to him. Please, Bhagavan, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And O Srimati Radharani, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanu Stute Devi, Pranamami Haripriya. Haripriya. You are Haripriya, you're the dearest thing to my heart. You are the queen of Vrindavana. You're the most educated girl, although you take care of cows. So if you want real education, you come to our farm and do go seva. You'll get educated. You'll see how loving the cows are. And you understand this animal is a miracle. She eats grass and gives very rich milk. And she's satisfied. Whatever we want to throw away from the kitchen, the cuttings, the vegetable cuttings, she'll eat that also. So, and give us more milk. So you see, this is the way to educate the children, not robotics, not computer games. The whole goal of a computer game is killing. The more you kill, the more you advance. Does that make sense? No. So we'll stop right there and continue next week. This is a big subject, the false ego and the origin of it. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions anyone would like to ask? One question. One question. There must be one question. Ladies? Gentlemen? Children? You have a question? No? Okay, Gaurachandra, you ask a question.
How to take it seriously when the problems are not happening every day? We understand the philosophy, we understand Krishna is God, but how do we bring the seriousness towards devotional life? Because unless there is a disaster happening today, Bhagavad Gita says these are the problems of life. Yeah, I'll become old when I'll become old. Why do I care about it today? I'm young today. So how to become serious in spiritual life when there are no real problems happening today?
You come to the temple and listen to the class.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other questions? You have a question? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Not go after the objects of senses. So when we don't go after the objects of senses, then people think that we are stupid. They think we are crazy.
So, if you don't go to Disneyland but you come to the temple, are you crazy?
No, but if I can buy a Tesla and I'm
you've chosen a more noble object of your senses, Radha Krishna, rather than Donald Duck. Doesn't that make sense? Isn't that intelligence?
Yes.
Krishna says, Tasmat sarve sukalesu mam anusmara yudhyacha mai arpita manobuddhir mam ivaisasya samsaya. He said, therefore, Arjuna, at all times think of me and do your duty. With your mind and intelligence fixed on me, surely you'll come back to me. So rather than come back to Disneyland, we should go back to Vaikuntha. That should be our goal in life. If you love your family, then you want your family to live forever. You don't want them to get old, get sick, and die. One of the most striking things I saw yesterday, I saw Herbert Walker Bush, the 40th president, looking at the coffin of his wife and staring at it with a horrible look on his face, a look of complete misery. See, that's not normal. We are all eternal living beings, but we've become dumbed down by mass weapons of distraction. A computer, a cell phone, television, Bollywood movie, they're all mass weapons of distraction. It takes our mind away from what's essential in life. So we're not rejecting all objects of the senses. We're eclectically choosing the superior objects of the senses, right? Like Mahaprasadam, like Hari Katha, like Hari Kirtan. You know, these are superior objects of the senses. The lower objects are what? You're going to go and listen to some comedian in Las Vegas use filthy words and tell filthy jokes, and everyone, you know, forces a smile as if it's entertainment. Or you're going to watch a movie where in 10 minutes you see 5 murders, and you call that entertainment? I don't call it entertainment. By the way, I want to ask a question. Has anyone murdered someone in this room? Raise your hand. Okay. Has anyone seen someone murdered? Raise your hand. Okay. So, but when you open a television, in a few minutes you see a couple murders. And video games, all these video games are about killing, right? The more you kill, the higher you go. Does that make sense? Do you want your kid spending 3-4 hours killing and seeing killing as a way of advancing? It doesn't make sense. So, something you never saw, something you never did, but you're watching it as entertainment. It desensitizes you. And all the other things that you don't do. You don't cheat on your husband, but you see that in the movies. You might not eat meat, but you see people eating meat as if they're going to die tomorrow if they don't. And you see people drinking and gambling. And this is being glorified. Before in India, the Bollywood movies were good. They would show the Bollywood movies in the Muslim countries. Yeah. They were the most popular movies in the Islamic world because they had noble subjects. A mother's love for the son, son's love for the mother, sacrifice of the wife for the husband. These were the topics, right? Nowadays, you can't even let your kids see the Bollywood movies. It's so they're degraded. They're getting worse than Hollywood, and that's bad, right? So we eclectically choose the objects of the senses with higher intelligence. We don't reject all objects of the senses. Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You were going to ask a question? Okay, Arti, yeah. That's a question. The answer is yes, Hanji. Murali Manohar Gopala Govinda Radhe Gopala Murali Manohar Gopala Govinda Radhe Gopala Hey Bolo Gopala Gopala Murali Manohar Gopala Bolo Gopala Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Gopi Vallabha Dina Dayal, Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal, Gopi Vallabha Dina Dayal, Dina Dayal Prabhu Dina Dayal, Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hey, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Don't run around. Stop running around. Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Gopi Vallabha Dina Dayal, Yasoda Nandana Gopala, Gopi Vallabha Dina Dayal, Yasoda Nandana Gopala. Hey, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hey, Hey, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hey, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hey, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala, Govinda Radhe Gopala, Bolo Murali Manohara Gopala, Govinda Radhe Gopala. Hey, Bolo Murali Manohara Gopala, Govinda Radhe Gopala, Bolo Murali Manohara Gopala, Govinda Radhe Gopala, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hey, Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hey, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala, Bolo Gopala. Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala, Bolo Gopala, Gopala, Murali Manohara Gopala. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hey, Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hey, bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shiva Jayo, Jaya Gora Chande, Arati Ke Soba. Wala Jana Vitata Vade, Jagamana Loba. Jagavane, Jagamana Loba, Korangera Rotik Soba, Jagajana Mana Loba, Korangera Rotik Soba, Jagajana Mana Loba, Korange Arotik Soba, Jagajana Mana Loba, Korange Arotik Soba, Jagajana Mana Loba, Jagajana Mana Loba, Jagajana Bolo Jagajana Mana Loba. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Bolo Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora. Bolo, 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 bolo. Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari, Nita Gora Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora. All right, all right. Kibadakin Gitaya Chan Banengada Ara. Nikate Advaita Shini Vasachadradara. Nikate Advaita Shini Vasachadradara. Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Aditike Soba. Jana Vitata Vane Jagamana Loba. Kibaboshi na Chingora Chan Vatna Singha Sane. Aroti Korena Brahma Adi Deva Gane. Aroti Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Aditike Soba. Bala Jana Vitata Vane Jagamana Loba. Kiba Nara Adhyani Nari Chamaradulaya. Bala Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Kosha Adhikaya. Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Kosha Adhikaya. Kiba Shankara Bhaje Kanda Bhaje Bhaje Kara Kara. Madhurami Ganga Bhaje Paramarasala. Madhurami Ganga Bhaje Paramarasala. Shankha Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje. Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gita Gora Hari Bol Gita Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gita Gora Gita Gora Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gora Hari Bol. Bahu Koti Chandra Ji Ni Vadana Ujvala. Gala de Sevana Mala Kori Jala Mala. Gala de Sevana Mala Kori Jala Mala. Shiva Shiva Sukanarada Preme Gada Gada. Bhakta Jivino Da Deke Gorara Sampada. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daini. Hiranya Kashipur Vakshahar. Shilatam Kanakalaye. Shilatam Kanakalaye. Ito Nisingha Varato Nisingha. Come on. Follow Ito Nisingha Varato Nisingha. Yato Yato Yamita Do Nisingha. Bahir Nisingha Vidaye Nisingha. Narasimhamadim Saranam Prabhade. Narasimhamadim Saranam Prabhade. Tavakara Kamalapade Nakam Advanta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Janubinga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Bolo Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Jaya Jagadesha Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Premanandi Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajika Chasta Talasatari Shishiman His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Shikoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapura Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. Haribol, we have a few quick announcements to make. First of all, we want to thank the sponsors of our feast tonight. It's a wonderful thing to sponsor the feast. So many people benefit from it, and Krishna appreciates it. So Venkat Pentyala, on the occasion of Akhil's birthday, Venkat Pentyala, on the occasion of Akhil's birthday, Devarajan Kannan, on the occasion of Devarajan's birthday, Aniruddha Mukhopadhyay and family, on the anniversary of their father's passing, Harika Kokhani, again in memorial to her father, and Devarajan Kannan have offered $500 tonight for Devarajan's birthday. Harika Kokhani, $300 on an occasion of her father's passing. And we want to thank all 4 sponsors tonight. And if we have 2 birthdays, if they can bring the children in front of the deities to get the blessing of Radha and Krishna, and then we will sing for them. Next Saturday night, April 28th, From 5:30 to 8:30 is the Nishinga Chaturdasi, the festival on the occasion of the appearance of Lord Nrsingadev, that wonderful, amazing incarnation of the Lord, half lion, half man, who saved the life of Prahlad Maharaj, his dear devotee. And on Sunday night, April 29th, we will perform the Nishinga Kavacha, the protective armor for all the children and for everyone. Next Sunday night, we'll perform the Nishinga Kavacham ceremony and recite the special mantras to protect our children and their loving parents. Tonight we want to announce also that Aniruddha Mukhopadhyay, who's the sponsor of the feast, and family, wonderful family, they've donated tonight $5,400 for our new farm. Our dearest devotee, Radha Nilamadava Devi Dasi, has donated $2,001, which is a big sacrifice for her, and we pray for her. And we're going to dedicate the new farm and temple to her and her husband, who have been loyal devotees of this temple since 1978. We want to thank also our dear devotees and the family of Harivilas Prabhu and his family. They've donated $21,500 for the new farm in Black Diamond, Auburn. We want to thank also Rama Raghava Das. He has donated $1,111. And we want to thank also Arvind and Deepali. They've donated $1,000. Our new farm will be a retreat center. There'll be a small temple. We will take care of our cows. We'll be able to expand the herd to up to 50 cows there. We'll have festivals there. And you can spend a weekend there also. And by appointment, of course. We don't have a big hotel, you know, but there is facility. So thank you very much for coming tonight. I pray that you will all become enlivened in Krishna consciousness, and this will be your last birth in this world. Go back to Godhead at the end of this life. And then you can pray for me also, so I can make it. So, if there are any of the ladies that would like to sing, or the kids, yes, okay. There's your harmonium. Here's your microphone. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Prabhuji, there's a video. Prabhuji, there's...
Guru.
Yeah, there's one more donation tonight. Deepak Prabhu and family have donated $7,500 tonight. Deepak Prabhu, and his name is Damodar. Yeah, Damodar Hari Prabhu and his family, his good wife and his children. $7,500. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
We present to you a vision, a dream. Story of the Supreme Guru. Told through the ancient dance form of India, Mohiniyattam.
Krishnam Valde Jagat Guru.
We present to you Ghanashyam, Namaste. My name is Smita Krishnan. I'm the director and founder of Mohini Dance School, a non-profit organization in Seattle. I'm very excited about my school's first dance ballet production, Ghanashyam, which is the vision of my guru, Srimati Suchitra Vishweshwaran, based in Tripunithura, Kerala. When she and I started talking about the possibility of doing a dance production about 3 years ago, there was no doubt in our minds that the theme would be Krishna. And that's because she is such an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. And she and her students have been performing for many, many years at the Guruvayur temple. And me and my students also had the good fortune of performing there a couple of years ago. So it was a very natural theme for us. So my guru and I have had many conversations about which stories to pick and which episodes in Krishna's life we should focus our energy on. One of the things that's challenging, to me at least, about presenting the story of Krishna is that it is very commonly represented through Indian classical dance. And many legends have presented the storyline already on stage. So for me to present it in Mohiniyattam with my students and to still make it a fascinating and interesting story to tell was a challenge. And that's because Krishna's life is so rich. There are so many stories you can pick from, right from his birth to his adult life. And when we picked stories from even the pieces of Mahabharata that we picked for this dance ballet, we tried to focus solely on those pieces that brought out the essence of Krishna. Only those storylines that spoke about Krishna or highlighted Krishna's wisdom and his love and his will to always stand for righteousness. And so that's where we focused our energy. A story that's traveled 1,000 miles. The mission of Mohini Dance School is to increase awareness about this classical dance form from Kerala around the world, especially in the US. Our school is the only school that I know of that is dedicated solely to teaching Mohiniyattam in the Northwest region. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this production is also to give my own students who are so talented a venue, a platform to bring out their best. And I believe it's been a great learning opportunity, not only for them, but also for me, in helping them come along and bring out their best through Abhinaya and Nrutta. One of the reasons I'm really proud of Ghanashyam is because the execution of this whole project has been by a team of women just like me, and we've all come together for this cause. Right from the vision from my guru, and she has been working with a team of talented musicians in India to direct and put the music together, to the actual execution here in terms of the prop and set design, costume design, getting the costume stitched and shipped here with a lot of attention to detail, marketing, getting sponsors, and also the overall program management and execution has been all by women. So I'm really proud of that fact. a story that's turned into a divine journey. Come, witness it. This journey can only be a success with your support, and we hope that you will join us at the Kirkland Performance Center on May 12th to help us finish this creative journey called Ghanashyam.